Dr. Gray, your patients are waiting for you in exam room 3813.
Thank you, nurse. I'll hop to it. Hello, Mr. Hopperfield and Ms. Cadbury. What can I help you with today?
Well, Doc, we've been having some chronic-like flu symptoms for a while now, and we wanted to get a checkup.
Alright, I'll run some blood work and get back to you guys in a few.
30 minutes later.
Well, folks, I have bad news. It appears that you guys have been having unprotected sex like bunnies because you two tested positive for HIV.
Oh no! Wait, what is that?
Well, HIV stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. If left untreated, HIV can lead to the disease AIDS, Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Unlike some other viruses, the human body cannot get rid of the HIV virus completely.
I've never heard of this disease. Where does it come from?
Studies have shown that HIV may have jumped from apes to humans as far back as the late 1800s when humans hunted infected chimpanzees for meat and came in contact with their blood.
But we have had flu-like symptoms. We can't have this disease. Oh, honey bunny.
One cannot rely on symptoms to tell if you have HIV. The only way to know for sure if you have HIV is to get tested. We look for certain host factors to indicate the presence of HIV, such as exposure and infection, IgA present in mucosa, natural barriers such as mucosa, CD4 and CD8 T cells, and genetic factors for resistance.
Ah, but how did we get it?
The virus is transmitted through unprotected sex, accidental infected needle sticks, blood, and bodily fluids except saliva. HIV binds to receptors on the surface of a CD4 cell. It works with another protein called CCD5, a co-receptor which helps HIV enter the cell. The HIV envelope will bind to the CD4 membrane. Inside the CD4 cell, HIV releases and uses reverse transcriptase, an HIV enzyme, to convert its genetic material HIV RNA to HIV DNA. This allows HIV to enter the CD4 cell nucleus and combine with the cell's genetic material. Once inside the CD4 cell DNA, the virus begins to use the CD4 to make long HIV chains, and these are used as building blocks for more HIV. These proteins and HIV RNA move to the surface of the cell and assemble into immature, non-infectious HIV. Now, the non-infectious HIV pushes itself out of the cell and releases protease. Protease acts to break up the long protein chains, and these smaller HIV chains bind to form mature infectious HIV strains.
So, is there a cure?
Unfortunately, there are no cures once a patient is infected with the disease. Once a patient is infected, there are a multitude of steps that can be taken in order to reduce the effects of the virus, ultimately keeping the immune system as healthy as possible and drawing out the collapse.
Wait, so we're gonna die?
Well, there are medications that you can take. Currently, the FDA has 3 classes of antiretroviral drugs. The first is nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, or NRTIs. Secondly, protease inhibitors, or PIs. And lastly, non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, or NNRTIs. It's also noteworthy to state that when a patient starts on an antiretroviral drug, they are not prescribed just one of the 3 types, but more so a cocktail of drugs. Through the highly active antiretroviral therapy, or HART method, patients are medicated with this regime, and results will show that the viral loads are low.
So who gave it to whom? Me to him or him to me?
Well, there are more tests that we can run to see which host infected who. The lab will look at a number of drug exposures as well as use of specific drug that would suggest a specific selection for a cluster of mutations that imply possible resistance / cross resistance. If you give me a few minutes, I'll run and get some more tests and get back to you guys in a bit.
Another 30 minutes later.
So I ran the test, and it looks like you acquired the disease first, Mr. Hopperfield, and gave it to Ms. Cadbury.
But where did you get the virus from? Tell me if you care at all.
Fine, it was during our bunny mood with the the Easter Bunny!
The Easter Bunny? You two-timing hopper, we're over. Have a happy life.
I regret the day I ever fertilized your deviled eggs. Ugh!